happened in the 90s.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Happened in the 90s with me, Matt. I'm here with my boy, Steve. Steve, what's up?
Steve G. Steve G in the build.
How you doing today, man?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. Great Lakes, repping my Great Lakes crew.
Oh, shit.
You know how we do?
Get it.
Yeah, we do things.
So,
See, you have this
after Steve
that
gets those
Jackie Brown.
mixtapes sold real quick.
Oh, yeah. I see you got that Jackie Brown piece, man. That's not from around here. You got that imported from China.
I was going to say, I had to go to the black market to get this. And I got to say, if you want to talk 90s, well, this is another time and another place, but Jackie Brown's one of the greatest movies of all time. And when did it happen? In the 90s, y'all, which is why you're here.
Happened in the 90s.
Right. Great segue. Beautiful segue, Steve. Shout out to us for doing that. But just for the uninitiated, if you will, Happened in the 90s is a podcast about the 90s from two guys who lived in the 90s and grew up in the 90s. And it's for everyone who just can't get enough of that decade. So for anyone who loves the 90s, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy this. And Steve, we got a doozy of an episode today, my friend.
Yes, we do, my friend. In the 90s, you liked it, you loved it.
You can't get enough of it.
You can't.
But
cannot.
just because we have to give a quick RIP to a true legend, and this is in regards to Jackie Brown. I'm not going to get my gross body up in camera and just try to point out this picture, but Robert Forster, aka Max Cherry, starred in, again, my favorite movie. And for a little inside info in between me and Steve's relationship, Steve and I have been friends for a long fucking time. I don't want to age us, but for a long time. And at one point, Steve and I lived in a college dorm. Shout out Bromfield, Harshman. 205. Was it 205?
Yeah, we were 205 because Mikey was 203.
Yeah. Harshman 205. But, at the time, I was into a lot of just like typical, American Pie, like that kind of nonsense. But Steve was into some crazy. I mean, I did like movies, but Steve, I got to give you credit, especially for Jackie Brown specifically. You peeped me on to that and to Quentin Tarantino in general. So if it wasn't for Steve, guys, I mean, this podcast wouldn't even be possible without the connection here. So shout out to Steve, but also RIP to the legend himself, Max Cherry. I didn't know he was dead. So this is devastating news.
He died in 2019. Yeah, he's no longer with us, man. RIP to the legend, man.
And just in terms of that character, he just how much did he smash in his lifetime? Just that's just a gentleman's gentleman, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, RIP. I hate to start it off on a bad note, Steve. I'm sorry, but I got caught off guard when you told me that.
It's not necessarily a bad note. It's giving some people their flowers. Unfortunately, he's not here with us to receive them. But he was receiving a lot of tail when he was here, I'm sure. This is the same man that was in Me, Myself, and Irene, Mulholland Drive. He did some big things. London Has Fallen. That was a couple years before he died.
I was going to say, that's a more recent. I mean, he's been, how long, if you have his timeline right now, what's the first date? When did he first start working?
He came in the game in the 60s. Reflections. Yeah, he was Reflections in a Golden Eye. That was the movie.
That sounds like a porno, like some sort of like really sophisticated porno, if you're asking me. But that's just where I go. I think people, if you even just listen to last episode, you kind of know who I am.
Yeah, he's probably got some homemades.
Oh yeah,
or had some.
Or at least like those Cinemax style, even like 70s style, where there's just like a lot of it's like that movie Perfect 10 with what's her face, where she had the braids. It was like an 80s movie, but it was just like these weird like vacation
Bo
sex
Derek.
paid movies. Yeah.
Talking about Bo Derek. Yeah.
I mean, again, that's maybe way too past. Like, I think a lot of people wouldn't know who that was, but I just got to say, I think my man Max Cherry was smashing in real life. And if you went back into his catalog, he had a lot of questionable romantic dramas, where maybe some sex happened that you got to get a lot of, it got a little X-rated. Let's just say that. So salute.
No.
I wish I had a catalog like that long, that prolific.
He was in a lot of shit. He was in an episode of Silk Stockings. You remember Silk Stockings back in the 90s?
USA, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, all night.
With
Is
Rhonda
that
Shear.
90s? Would we classify that as 90s, or is that like more of an 80s thing?
Oh, it's definitely 90s.
Okay.
Silk Stockings.
Silk Stockings, definitely. What was that other USA, like La Femme Nikita?
La Femme Nikita.
That there was something else, or was that what came on after wrestling?
It would after wrestling, it would be Walker Texas Ranger, or was that before? It was one of the two.
Now. God. there was associated with wrestling. I just remember, like, I would watch La Femme Nikita only because it was on, and the TV just kept playing after something. I just finished watching something and it just kept playing. So
yeah, and back in the day, I didn't watch too many things on USA besides wrestling. I mean, I don't think ever. They had Cartoon Express back in the day, and I fucked with that heavy. But really, besides wrestling, USA has really not offered it that much, man.
I mean, really for me personally, it was what you just said. It was also, there was a Weird Science TV.
Weird Science, yep.
And Weird a show Science. After that, what was it called?
Duckman,
but there was another one where it was like it was almost like Parker Lewis Saves the World or something. Parker Lewis can't lose. That's what it was.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
I used to like that principle.
But then on a little perverted tip, my little, like adolescent self wanted to see some boobies, I would watch USA Up All Night and see Rhonda Shear, presenting at full mast what she had to offer to the world. But
yeah, she was a siren.
I mean, so she was like Sable. She was just, I was like, I don't know what your expertise is, but I get it. I understand it,
But the weird shit though, she would split time with Gilbert Godfrey. Remember that? Like there would be
That's a real disappointment if you're expecting that as like you want to like see some boobies, and then it's like, I'm Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
I cannot do a Gilbert Godfrey, guys. I'm sorry.
You have this extremely attractive blonde chick who's like acting sultry and seductively, and then some nights you might get this. But one of the funniest Gilbert Godfrey jokes was, what has 8 legs and yells, "Holy do! 4 black guys run into the elevator." That's a horrible. That's a horrible Gilbert Godfrey, but like I remember him doing that on a Howard Stern episode. It was the Beetlejuice, when they were trying to make Beetlejuice laugh. Do you remember that? He was pissed off for whatever reason, and they had like Gilbert Godfrey come in there, and he's just cracking these jokes, and Beetlejuice is just unbothered. Just, I don't even know who you are.
Beetlejuice was like, when they got him together with that drunken dwarf guy, Hank, because they hate each other. That was. I mean, both are probably dead. Maybe Beetlejuice is still alive. I know Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf is gone.
Yeah.
Long gone.
Long gone. And Beetlejuice is still with us, surprisingly.
Wow. Who saw that coming?
He's done it all. I mean, he's been in movies, TV shows. He's done porn. There's stuff with him out there hitting skins. Yeah.
I don't. That's got to be more... like traumatizing. I'll tell you, like celebrity porn tapes, the China sex tape where it was like her and X-Pac.
Yeah.
It's burned into not only my eyes, but my eardrums because of X-Pac's disgusting commentary the whole time. I love X-Pac, great wrestler. Stop shooting porno. Just stop with it, please.
At this point, I'm sure he regrets it, but she made a career out of it. She was actually winning AVN awards and shit.
Yeah, but that's like that's like who? Okay, she won an AVN award for what? Most gnarly porno? Like, what was it?
It wasn't the best. I saw a Night in China and I wasn't pleased.
That's the one where it's X-Pac like, God, you're so beautiful. It just is so gross, dude.
Commentary is second nature at this point.
It just gives me chills. It's like when you watch like an internet video that's like a really traumatizing, like violent one. You're like, I should not have watched that because I'll never be the same again. That's how I felt when I saw the China porno. Because I didn't even really understand what I was seeing for the most part. You know, like, I don't know. When the guy is like significantly smaller than the chick in both size and just like muscle definition, it's just like confusing to really see what's going on, and I couldn't comprehend. So,
R.I.P. to China.
Yeah, damn, like I'm disrespecting all these a bunch of the dead. Salute to China.
She's not here to defend herself, Matthew.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I am so sorry, China. I just rest in power, China.
Joni Lore, she's a legend in the game, man. You know, she did some first time shit, man. Like she was the first woman to win an Intercontinental belt. Like she beat one of the boys. She whipped one of the guys. Like she was the first, and she was formidable. She had the part. She looked the part. Like she could pull it off. She looked like she could whip a guy's ass.
Especially like vintage when she was first coming out with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, China, where it was like, I don't even know what I'm seeing right now. Is that Guile with tits? Like I don't know what it was, but
she was an anomaly. Yeah, man, and it's unfortunate her story, man, because she really got the short end of the stick. Because, like you said, she was with Triple H and they had a real relationship. But then Stephanie got in the picture and she kind of got phased out. And, you know, once that became an issue, they showed her the door, man. And, you know, she basically got blackballed from the company. And it sucks. Like, you know, how can you compete with the boss's daughter? And she was hot too. She's still hot. I like Stephanie McMahon.
No offense to China. She was just like, it was such a masculine look. And it wasn't really, I mean, I unless it was like a supplement thing, it wasn't her fault, but it was just, it is what it was. Like, and also I feel bad for her because I feel like she was one of the first celebrities where they fell from grace, like very hard, and then were picked up by like reality television and social media, and it like literally chewed her up and killed her. I mean, it didn't even spit her out. It just completely diminished her life to where she was doing pornos and shit. And that's like on I guess if WWE was like fucking with her and keeping her out, that might be on them. But to me, it was like, you know, she started doing all those weird TV shows where it'd be like lower than Celebrity Apprentice type shit, you know, like
Surreal Life.
That, shit like that, where it's like, this is you're being made a joke of. And I think for some people, it's just like fame's enough, and that's what they want. So they don't, you know, they're like Flavor Flav, where it's I don't really care how I'm coming off. I'm getting a check, you know, so I'll do whatever I got to keep that going. I feel like she probably felt weird her whole life just because of what she looked like. So like for her to then be a victim to all of social media and like how shitty they are. And like, I mean, shit, I've been fucking with her just now, but just like that in general, she was in that first wave where, you know, when we were kids in the 90s, like the internet was not a thing. So you couldn't know, like some guy in Nevada thought you looked shitty and you were shitty. Like you didn't hear that. So then she goes on TV and the internet gets to where it is kind of now. And it's like, she leaned into being famous, and maybe she didn't need to do that. I feel like that's probably what happened.
And it's unfortunate that she wasn't here to fully get her flowers, man, because of all the things that I mentioned. Like, she was the first for a lot of things, and she had an interesting look, but she used that to her advantage because she came about at a good time in the 90s when everything was different, when the anti-hero was the hero.
Yeah.
And, it was in your face, it was raunchy, it was loud, it was vulgar, it was gory. And she fit that mold. She was in the whole Degeneration X collective, man. She was definitely a essential piece. So props to her. May you rest in paradise, Joni Lore, aka Chyna. Yeah, man.
Let's just bench
Now,
press one for Chyna today, just to get it, get a pump on for Chyna real quick. So, Chyna.